hello, 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 hello. Test mic. Test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Hello everybody, selamat pagi and good morning. You are here with me again today. My name is Yulina and we are at Sepang F1 International Circuit for the IDEMITSU FIM Asia Road Racing Championship. We have about 5 minutes before we begin the warm-ups, but for now, let's do a quick recap of yesterday's highlights. Now, Reiterberger revs across the finish line for the ASB 1000s as we have Zakwan, Haruki and Aslan dicing all the way behind him for a few laps before Aslan takes second and Zakwan takes third. The Supersport 600 was of course no surprise as the Bunsu Honda Racing Boys synchronize and dice for the last few final laps before Azra Hakim calmly crosses the finish line. I really hope to see Wawan Welo Raja Underbone Indonesia take the win or have his winning streak today for the AP 250. Meanwhile, Muzakir shows that nobody is a match for him as he is in fact indeed a machine on the TVS one make Apache 310 RR. Join us today for the pit walk at 11 a.m. and we'll also keep you up to speed all day throughout the day on our Facebook and YouTube page. But for now, let's get into this, rock and roll for a bit, and I will pass the microphone to Daniel so he can start the warm-ups for the TVS One Make Championship.
Good morning and a very warm welcome to the action for the final day of the second round of the FIM IDEMITSU Asia Road Racing Championship. This morning we have no qualifyings left or Super Bowls. We only have the warm-ups before we will head into the second races of the weekend. So for this morning's session we have a 10-minute warm-up session for the TVS Asia One Make Championship. Now yesterday we had some thrilling action at the front. What was momentarily just a battle between 2 or 3 riders became a group of 6, but ultimately Muhammad Muzakir was victorious down the line, gapped by just 0.012 seconds to Ramdan Rosli in second, and Piawa Patumias as well. The late charge had him third, just 0.058 seconds away from victory. Fastest race lap in that one came from Deki Tiano, who was in fourth with a 2:21.4. The lap record in qualifying, however, was a 2:21.7. So currently, Deki Tiano has the lap record. Currently, top speeds. Looking at what we had earlier, it wasn't that bad. It was a 2:07.3. So improvements once again from the TVS Asia One Make, and they've been quite well throughout their improvements. So the riders have just come up for the out lap. Now talking points, definitely I think we were quite surprised to see that Vorapong did not have his way this time round. You could see it earlier in Buriram that it would be a tougher season for him with all the names coming up. Talented riders from all around the Asian region. But yeah, it was a surprise. It was about 1.1 seconds behind the race winners. Not too far, but as mentioned, it became a group of 6. Fuga Tanaka completing the top 6 there. And it was an impressive showing from Fuga Tanaka. He managed to keep up with the front runners, even though with that slight gap about midway in the race. But I think definitely the 2 riders to look out for, actually I will say 3, would be Muzakir Muhammad, Ramdan Rosli and Piawa Patumias. They've been really strong so far from the start of the season. It was just unfortunate for Muzakir and Ramdan Rosli. Ramdan Rosli with 2 DNFs and Buriram. Muzakir with 1 DNF and a strong finish in the second race. Piawa Patumias as well, well-experienced Thai rider coming through and looking like he can be a contender. It is still early days in the championship. We've only had 3 races out of the 4 in round 2. From round 1 to round 2. So for now, let's watch the action on track as they begin their first flying laps. Now for those wondering, lap times wise, we might see some decent lap times coming through. The temperatures are absolutely ideal. The track is dry. The sun is glaring down on the Sabang International Circuit. He's had a great shot there, Muzakir, with his tail kicking out. And you'll notice that especially between Muzakir and Ramdan. Ramdan, he's an experienced super sports rider. And yeah, he's just got this very unique riding style. The way he enters the turns, he treats this 300cc bike as if it were just a super sports machine, and it's truly beautiful. You can see that right into turn 4. What a beautiful shot it is to see him riding like that. But for now, there was Arshad Rushdi. Rotten bit of luck for Arshad yesterday. Crash in qualifying right at the start, and in the race he only managed to come up in 11th, only 11 seconds away from the front. But it has been a really tough start for the Singaporean. He went well around Sepang last season. He was consistently fighting at the top, so maybe just a few more things to shake off for Arshad. We definitely hope to see more from him. And on screen that's KY Ahmed. KY Ahmed not too bad yesterday. In race 1, he was top 10. He finished 9th, 8 seconds away from the front. Jagan Kumar, his fellow compatriot, finishing in 10th, 9.2 seconds away from the top. So again, not a bad showing from the Indian riders, but I'm sure they will be pushing for more and more when it comes to race 2. There on screen now we have Vorapong Malawan. Vorapong will definitely want to make amends for yesterday. He's one rider who is happiest when he's on the top step of the podium, but he's just happy being in this race program at all. Great character around the pit lane. Really exciting to talk to. He always has some great feedback, some great input, and that is what makes this TVS Asia One Make Championship what it is today, because Vorapong has been leading this project, and my oh my, the improvements have been extraordinary. For now, just 5 minutes left in this warm-up session. Now we're following Kewa Ahmed there on screen number 4 as they complete their first flying laps, and already decent lap times coming through, a 2:23.0 from Vorapong. A few more riders just passing through now. Muzakir already early on with a 2:22.2. So as mentioned in the morning, typically we will see some decent lap times. The track hasn't heated up to the typical 50-55 degrees that we're used to seeing here at Sepang. Yesterday, I remember one of the Dunlop technicians, they came in and we had the information that the track temperature during the ASB 1000 race was right about right around 52-53 degrees Celsius. So it wasn't extraordinarily hot, but it was still toasty out there. This is a shot of Vorapong there, running wide at turn 4. Not certain what happened there to him, but for now we follow back. There's Tayo Saito, donning number 12 as they make their way through turn 5 and 6. Leading this pack of 4 riders there was Kewa Ahmed. Kewa Ahmed at 2:23.8. Jagan Kumar behind him, 2:24.5. So 2:23.8 from Kewa Ahmed. It's not too bad. It's more or less similar to his race pace yesterday. Now, of course, notable mention compared to last season. This season, the TVS has debuted with slicks, so that is definitely one point as to why these bikes have the lap times dropping so rapidly. Slick tires, of course, help with giving that extra corner grip when they're rolling through the corners, like in the shot here at turn 11. Now in this group as well, you can see Luis Abahard. Now Luis, he's one of the decent riders coming through the ranks. He's riding from Indonesia. Crashed out early on in the race yesterday. Another notable mention is Corin Ains Chang. They didn't mention him too much this weekend so far, but he is one of those riders who's pushing up the ranks. Filipino rider, young rider, coming up. And yesterday he finished in 8th position, fastest lap time at 2:22.779. So it was a good showing from Kerwin. We expect more from him. Definitely, a lot of these riders will improve and get used to the bikes as the season progresses. That was this Muzakir, I believe, looking at the helmet. Yeah, there's Muzakir. He's just having a look behind. I think he's probably looking for his fellow countryman, Ramdan Rosli. The two Malaysians, they typically ride together, trying to feed off each other's slipstreams and lines. And it's a good showing from the pair of them. They are debutants in the season. And Muzakir with the early pit entry. So I think Muzakir just wanted to really just get that body warmed up, because with only 2 minutes remaining, he could go out for another lap, but it will not be any lap time set for him. So for now, Muzakir, Vorapong as well, he's gone back into pit lane. So for now, it's Muzakir Mohammed. He's fastest in warm-up. Vorapong second. Still have a few riders out there on track improving, so we might see the order change slightly. So now here we're following Darren Pop Tongyoy, one of the Thai riders in this category. Darren Pop is one of those riders where I feel he has what it takes to fight at the front, but it just hasn't come quite together for him. Lap time wise, he's never too far. He's just under 2 seconds away from the top, about a second and a half. So I think Darren Pop, he will find his way to the front soon enough. We still have a remainder of 4 rounds after this Sepang round in Malaysia. And don't forget, the final round in the Asia Road Racing Championship will be held in Thailand at Buriram at the Chang International Circuit once again. So it'll be a big boost for the Thai riders riding on home ground. They'll be very familiar with it. So riders like Darren Pop can find their footings throughout round 2, 3, and 4. Come round 5 and 6, these riders will have something to show. For now, we have a few riders already back into pit lane as well. Besides Vorapong Muzakir, Ramdan Rosli, Dekitiano, and Deepak Ravikumar have all gone back into pit lane. I think they've warmed up their bodies enough and thought it might just be safe to not take any risks in the warm-up session. For now, their hand being raised for Luis Abahard. He will most likely be heading back into pit lane as well. For now, we follow Darren Pop Tongyoy. Must say, great choice in helmet color. Suits the bike and the suit very, very well indeed. Now following number 14, he comes down the line. Let's see if he can improve his time. His fastest time so far has been a 2:24.3. Comes across the line, it's not bad. It's a 2:25.3. So for now, it looks like positions mostly the same. Piawa Patumios, he's gone up into third, a 2:23.145. Do look out for Piawat when it comes to the race 2 later on. He's definitely a very exciting rider, very talented and very well experienced. And there's one of the Filipino riders, Kerwin Ains Chang. He's just cruising around turn 14 now. I think most of them realize that they would have only had about 2 to 3 flying laps before the checker flag comes out. You just hear the roar of the TVS Apache machines as they come into pit lane, and it is quite a noise. So as that concludes, these are the results of the TVS Asia 1 Make Championship warm-up session. Fastest once again is Muhammad Muzakir, second Vorapang Malawan, third Piawa Patumios, fourth is Ramdan Rusli, fifth KY Ahmed, sixth Jagan Kumar, seventh is Arshad Rushdi, eighth is Fugo Tanaka. Coming in ninth is Tayo Saito, 10th Darren Pop Thongyoy, Deki Cherno not having the best warm-up session, 11th, 12th Corinne Ains Chang, 13th is Chirant Viswanath, 14th Louis Abahard, 15th Deepak Ravikumar. So this is the schedule for the final day of round 2 at the Sepang International Circuit. We've just had the TVS Asia 1 Make Championship warm-up. After this will be the Underbone 150s, AB 250s, Super Sport 600s and the ASB 1000. And then we'll have the all-exciting pit walk between 10 past 11 till 11:50, followed by the races in the afternoon. TVS Asia, Underbone 150, AB 250, Super Sport 600, and then we will conclude at 3:50 p.m. with the ASB 1000s. Now for those who want to catch the live other than on Facebook, we have also on Sport TV Asia, Sport TV Malaysia, Astro, Star Sports China, T Sports Thailand, Video Indonesia, and Fox Sports and KO Sports Australia. So do catch it live. If you don't want to watch on Facebook, you can catch it on your TV. We'll join you back once again with the Underbone 150 warm-up in a short few minutes.
Hello, everybody. Selamat pagi and good morning. You're with me, Yulina, and today we are looking at the warm-ups for the Underbone 150 class. Now let's just have the guys. We just have the guys right here going out for an out lap. Although let's look at some of the highlights from yesterday. We have Wawan Wello here. He's dubbed Raja Underbone Indonesia. Now the Indonesians love him. He is so popular amongst them, and he was actually a wild card in 2018 for the UB 150 class. That was 4 years ago, and he was riding with Yamaha Yamalu SND Factory right then. He's with a different team now, Pitts Bike GRT Tech 2. But yes, his first time, just wild card, and he actually did really good. Crossed the finish line first at that time. Very impressive Indonesian that we have here. Just right behind him yesterday was Murabil Vitoni. And I tried to look him up today actually, but nothing came up. And I just realized today that he is nicknamed Robbie Sakara. So I typed in Robbie Sakara, and all the info that I was looking for came up on screen. He was racing in one Prix for a while in Indonesia for Yamaha Ray Racing Speed YRRS team name in Indonesia for quite a bit and a few years back then until he came up to ARRC. And he's currently racing for LFNH Putra 969 Indonesia Racing Team. Now, just right behind both of them is another Indonesia, Gupita Kresna. Gupita now was racing for ARRC in 2018 for Team SND. In 2022, he was less than prepared though. In an interview here, he talked about it, but he tried his best anyway, and his results were too bad. He says right over here in the interview, minta restu kepada keluarga saya dan masyarakat Indonesia agar ARC ini jadi yang terbaik dan juara. So he says right here that he hopes for the best from his Indonesian fans. He really wants to do well and be champion. Now we have on the screen right here Haziq Fairoz, who was caught in the bowling pin crash yesterday with 7 other Capri riders, going down with a bunch of 1XOX guys. We just clocked in his lap time, but he did not finish yesterday, of course, after that little tumble that they had with a few other riders. Amongst them, April King Mascardo, one of the promising Filipino riders. Haziq Fairoz, we've already just talked about him. Wayu, Ahmad Fazli Sham, Hafisa Rofa, and Shafiq Russell, all from 1XOX. We want Nazirul Izzat as well on the screen right beside him here. And we've got 1 minute and over left before they cross the finish line, so we can get some decent lap times in. There's only about 5 minutes left in the warm-up. It's just for them to just have a look at the circuit and kind of get used to things. But let's see. I believe that some of the guys that were caught in the little tussle and fall yesterday will be starting from the back, whilst we see all our 3 Indonesian riders in Q1, 2, and 3 today after finishing the first 3. There we still have Haziq and Nazirul. All passing through, as Daniel likes to say, as they steal each other's slipstream. Going through the straights now, tucking in. As they go past the turn. Going into what I believe is the last turn. Coming into the arch. Sepang now is going to pick up a lap time. There we go. In first position, we have Nazirul Izzat. He's clocked in 2:35. Behind him, Nazirul Izzat, 2:35.24. Haziq Fairoz right behind them with a 2:35.762. And let's look at the rest of them now. Going to turn 1. And bike number 11, Ahmad Fazrul Sham from GRT Tech, who was caught in the little crash yesterday with everybody else. Let's hope they recover from that yesterday and do well in race 2 anyway, because this is their final chance for today in the evening. Right, so looking at the screen now, we've got in 5th position Ahmad Fazrul Sham, 238, and 6th position Wahyu Aji, who was also caught yesterday in the little crash. He's done a 236 now. Two minutes and 35 left on the clock, so they can probably just get one lap in. I haven't seen though John Emerson in the circuit, Pascan Sanwang, Shahrul Shadras, and Shafiq Rasul from 1XOX, I believe. Oh, the guys are missing. We can look at some of the riders here, like April King. He's recovered from yesterday. Representing Umar Racing now, he's done a 236. Yesterday, his best was 234, so that's about 2 seconds off right there. So who do we have now on screen? Rider number 38, Wawan Wello. We're just talking about him. So what is Wawan Wello doing now? 243. Well, he was doing a lot better than that yesterday, definitely. Taking the win for the Underbone 150. Our Indonesians love him. He was racing in Indo Club Championship with another team that was also quite a few years back. He last raced in 2019. I believe that was just a little bit before the pandemic. So he made a comeback this time with the current team, GRT Tech 2. And he says, kalau target pasti champion UB150 Dongmas. So he always aims to be the champion for the Underbone class. And the Indonesians call him Raja Underbone Indonesia. So there we go. Got bike number 11 now on screen, taking that last turn. Got Muhammad Shafiq Izarik with a lap time of 2:37, representing YY Pang. I believe. Yes, I believe in this class, Shafiq is the only one representing his team. So let's see right here. Shafiq made it out yesterday with a 2:36. Placed 12. He placed 13th. He's placing 13th right now in the warm-ups. So let's see what he can bring to the table today in the UB150 warm-ups, in the UB150 race later, going on at 1:20. So they'll be the second race commencing after the TVS One Make Championship, going on at 12:35. And there we go. Results have come through for the warm-ups. They just waved the checkered flag right there. We have in first position Bita Kresna, having done a 2:33. Second, just behind him, Wahyu Aji, that got caught yesterday in the little tussle, 2:33. And third, we have Hafiza Rofa with a 2:34, representing the 1XOX TKKR team. With the unfortunate bowling pin incident yesterday, it seems that lots of the guys have come up quite good and recovered from it, except for some of the riders that I didn't see this morning, like John Emerson, Ahmad Fazli Sham, Pascuan Sanluang, Shahrul Shazras, and Shafiq Rasul. It seems that I didn't see them come out this morning in the warm-ups. Let's hope to see them all later on, all 24 of them, in the UB150 race later. Now this is one of the most competitive classes, making sure that they have to make up for being underpowered, being underbone, as They have to get off each other's slipstreams. It's one of the hardest classes to compete in, next to the 250s. Because once you make a mistake, it's gone. And it all depends on you, not the motorcycle. So there's one class where we get to see a show of their true skills on the motorcycle. The UB 150, guys. Just wait for them to cross the finish line. Take the checkered flag. Last one right there before they pit in, and we can have a quick look at the results for the warm-up today. And there we go, ladies and gents. They've passed the checkered flag now with Hafiza Rofa in the lead, having done a 2:33. Gupita Krishna behind him from 4 S1M Evo Yamaha 2:35, and 2:34 behind them YU Aji. Track is cleared out, looking at a very sunny, scorching day, and we're looking at the warm-up results right now. Hafiza Rofa 2:33, first place. Second, Gupita Krishna of Indonesia. Third, YU Aji. Malaysians in number 4, 5, and 6. Izzat Zaidi, Haziq Hamdan, Iqbal Zamri. 7th, Gian Carlo, and number 8, Nazirul, is the next page. We have Izam Ikmal from SCK Honda Racing Team 11 Bello sitting at number 10. Number 11, Muhammad Haziq. Number 12, Akid Aziz. 13, April King Mascardo from Uma Racing Philippines. 14, Ronaldi Pradana. And 15, Shafiq Izarik. Page 3 right there, because we still have a lot of riders to go through. Nguyen Antoine from Vietnam. Number 16, 17, Fazrul Sham. 18, Pachar Agon. 19, Nguyen Hu 3. 20, John Emerson Inguito from 4S1M. And 21, Murabil Vitani, our guy that placed second yesterday. And 22nd, Ahmad Fazli Sham. And 23, 24, 25, 26 didn't clock any timings. They weren't on the circuit, so there we go. Okay guys, don't forget to drop by Sepang today. We have the pit walk at 11 o'clock. Entrance is free. Just in case you missed any of the action from yesterday, the results are up on our official website. You can go and pull up all of the lap time sheets. They are there, and we will keep you up to speed all day today on the Facebook page as well as YouTube. In just a few, I'll let Daniel take over for the warm-ups at 9:40 for the AP 250 class. But meanwhile, keep yourselves hydrated today, and don't miss the action. We will go all out today and face the heat, literally as well as weather-wise, with the guys at 12:35, starting with the TVS Asia One Make Championship guys.
Welcome back to the action on track. This time it is once again the warm-up session. We are now watching the AP 250 class coming out for their 10-minute warm-up session. Very fast, very short warm-up session. Already we have nearly 3 minutes elapsed. So in these warm-up sessions they will typically have about 2 or 3 fast laps that they can do just to figure out some setups for the races later on. Now, a lot of people will look at warm-up and wonder what the significance of a warm-up session is, but I can tell you for sure that the warm-up session is actually one of the most crucial parts of race day. It is the final opportunity to test a setup perhaps, or change any problems that there were over the past few days. It's crucial to get the bike out and running, for the rider to test maybe just a slight tweak to the suspension, perhaps a different tune setup. It is just as important as any practice or qualifying session. For now, there's one star name in this category that really we missed in the most of the race yesterday, and who unfortunately took a tumble. Muklada Sarapuech. My oh my, she's had a tough weekend. In qualifying, the early crash sat her up for about 20 minutes, and then the final push to get the bike out, and it still wasn't running in the way that Muklada would have liked it. And unfortunately for Muklada, she was unable to set a qualifying lap time. And the race, the worries just got even worse for Muklada, crashing out on the second last lap. But nevertheless, this is the beauty of having 2 races in one race weekend. There is a second opportunity now for Muklada to claw back in a good result, and she was doing well for most of the race yesterday. She managed to find herself in 10th, just unable to catch up to Idlan Hakimi, who had a very silent ride on his own, with his teammate Irfan Haikal shooting up into the front group behind the Astra Hondas. Definitely Muklada, she showed what her heart's made of, and she never gave up. She kept on pushing forward, so definitely look out for Muklada. She's going to be pushing on forward once again in the coming race. For now, there she's being tailed by a very impressive and young Indonesian, Veda Ega. Veda Ega Pratama, of course, riding for the famous and the fabulous Astra Honda racing team. I say fabulous because they have almost gotten a lockout in the 250 class consistently since last year. There's Idlan Hakimi, another name on the rise. We're happy to see more young riders starting to show what they're made of. And Idlan and his teammate Irfan Haikal definitely showing some great performances yesterday. Irfan Haikal finishing 7th. For now, we follow Muklada Sarapuech, a very popular rider when we talk about riders in Southeast Asia. Muklada is one of those riders I'll never forget. A few years back, watching her really strut her stuff, get on the podium. It was so impressive for Muklada. It was the same year that Ana Carrasco won her World Supersport Championship, and it was quite the year of racing indeed. For now, we're falling down at turn 3. We can see the riders just slowly just pushing the bike slightly. And I do want to give a notable shout out to one of the Honda Racing India riders. We have Kevin Samar Quintal. Kevin Samar, he's one of the new riders in the AP 250 class this season, and he's been quite impressive in my eyes. I had a chat with him in Buriram, and he's very calm, very composed, and he really is starting to pull in those points. And looking at the improvements from Honda Racing India, it's great to see them slowly push up into the point scoring positions. It is always the first step of really getting into those strides to start pushing for podiums. There's another very impressive rider for this weekend, Muhammad Farouzi Tarakatullah. Farouzi, he's the fastest Yamaha in this AP 250 class, in a category that is dominated by the Hondas. He's done wonders on that Yamaha R25 machine. Yeah, definitely, he was able to put up the fights in the timings close to the Astra Honda boys in front. But in the race, however, Jakipa Putasan putting on the charge in that second group behind the Astra Honda riders, finishing 4th. Aiki Yoshi as well. We know he loves Sepang. He's always had some good performances here, and he was showing well. He managed to finish in the top 5, struggling for quite a bit early on in the race. He was at the back of the group, more or less around 8th or 9th. Now it's another opportunity for many of these riders, and Farouzi, he'll be looking at trying to score a podium this time round. It will be tough, definitely, because Astro Hondas are just in a class of their own, but anything is possible once the red light goes off. Now there's one of the new riders as well, Chihiro Ishii. Chihiro unfortunately crashing out at turn 14 in yesterday's race. It's a great showing of the airbag being deployed over in practice and as well in yesterday's race. We have quite a few riders actually this time round in this Asian Championship using suits with airbags. It's a great thanks to the great support from all the suit sponsors that we have, the various suit brands that we have in this championship. It's great always to see the safety being increased in motorsport racing. Now there's a familiar sight. Hondas riding together. Two of the Astro Hondas there. That's Herjanatna and Veda Ega. Just trying to figure out where Reza Danica has found himself. Reza, of course, really strong in yesterday's race. Even with the RPM cut, he was still capable of putting on a good show. But this time around, Herjanatna, the current lap record holder at the Sepang International Circuit. Apologies, I was overtaken by Reza Danica in the qualifying. That's the official lap time that is recorded. So Reza Danica currently has the fastest lap record at 222.4. So currently in warm-up we have trickled down and there's less than a minute left. Veda Ega currently sits as the fastest rider in the AP250 warm-up at 223.069. My, is he an exciting rider? I'm really excited to see how Veda goes on through the ranks, because he's come into this championship with what I would consider Herjan and Reza being his seniors, and he's just been all impressive. To be up there with your fellow teammates, strong teammates, and fighting for the podiums with them, it's truly an impressive feat. For now, we follow now Veda Ega, Herjanatna as they make their way into turn 15, and Herjan just showing what he did yesterday as well. That entry into turn 15, aggressive on the inside. Great character, Herjan. If you get the opportunity to say hi to him in the pit lane, I do suggest have a chat with him. He's such a great character to talk to. But with that all said and done, and there's Reza Danica just a few places behind his two teammates in front of him. But for now, and there's Irfan Ardian Shah. But for now, the checker flag has come out. The riders will take the checker flag, conclude this session, and the talking points here definitely, once again, top 3 Astro Honda, Irfan Ardian Shah looking good. Muklada 5th fastest in the warm-up session. Muhammad Farouzi coming up in 6th. So with that all said, the ARC AP250 warm-up has come to a conclusion. Herjanatna Firdaus fastest at the top. Reza Danica, his teammate, in 2nd. And surprise, surprise, top 3 Astro Honda, Veda Ega in 3rd. Irfan Ardian Shah in 4th. Muklada Sarpuesh, good job from her, in 5th. 6th is Muhammad Farouzi. 7th, Jakipa Putasan. And in 8th is Aiki Yoshi. Coming up in 9th is Muhammad Alif Adam Shah. Tanat Langpao in 10th. 11th, Wahyu Nugroho. 12th, Idlan Hakimi. 13th, Kam Vietnam. 14th, Irfan Haikal. And 15th, Wacharin Tuptimon. 16th is Kavin Samar Quintal. 17th, Nguyen Duc Tan. 18th, Chihiro Ishii. 19th, Liu Chunmei. Mohsin Paramban in 20th. Leong Nang Se in 21st. And Lee Rui Yun in 22nd. Now with no time is Nitian and Warit Thongnap Pakun. So that concludes the ARC AP250 warm-up session. We'll join you guys once again in a few more minutes with the Super Sports 600 warm-up.
Good morning, everybody. We are here again witnessing the warm-ups for the Super Sport 600 class, this time at Sepang F1 International Circuit for round 2 of the IDEMITSU FIM Asian Championships. Now, yesterday, we had a really intense battle for the last few laps amongst the Bunseo Honda boys in the Super Sport class. Okay, so we had Azroy Hakim calmly crossing the finish line. He's always been a calm rider, but he's taken the win yesterday after dicing with his teammates for the last few laps right there. He says just yesterday in the quick Park for May chat that it was always his target to be on the podium with his boys, and he was already starting to create a gap. So between the 4th or 5th or 6th lap, there was that gap, and that was when he started to go for the kill. And he said that yesterday was his day, and today he will do it again. So let's just see him making magic once again. And there we go, the blazing trio of the Bunseo Honda team. And just having a really quick look at yesterday's times. Here we have Azroy, who's done a 2:10 during the race. Khairul Idampawi's teammate just right behind him, also a 2:10.323, so that's about 0.2 off of him. And Muhammad Helmi Azman, 0.3 as well, 0.3 off of Azroy in first. And then we have Nakarin from Honda Racing Thailand, just right behind them for Minamimoto-san from Yamaha Gen Blue Racing Team, who's done a 2:10.698. And there they are, the group of them. There's 14 riders in total in this class, 10 laps for this race. However, we're still in warm-ups. Less than 12 minutes to go on the clock. On the screen there, just flashed. We have Nakarin, bike number 41 from Thailand, and Adinanta Putra, bike number 21. And we've got Azroy Hakim there leading the pack. Now, Azroy Hakim, I believe, brought the magic back to ARC for Bunseo Honda just a couple of years ago. In 2013, he signed with Honda, and he raced on a Honda Wave for quite a bit, about 5 years, 2013 up to 2018. In 2018, he placed 12th. That was his first time in Asia Road Racing, or in the Asia Road Racing Championship. He was on a Super Sport 600 as well in 2018. 2019, he joined the national championships in Malaysia, the MSBK 600. He was the champion of that class. That very same year, he also did ARC Super Sport 600, and he placed 4th overall. In 2021, he did the CP 150 in the Malaysian Capri Championship. He was champion in that class. In 2022, he was still in ARC, but he's mentioned in a very quick interview here, no rush to the MotoGP, but he wildcarded that year in the World Championships. And then we have Helmi Azman. Results come up on screen. Bike number 32, and we have Ratapong, rider from Thailand, from Yamaha Thailand Racing. It's coming through there. The countdown goes 2 minutes for all of our Super Sport 600 boys. About a few seconds left for the cross-finish line. Minamimoto-san has crossed the finish line. He's marked a 2:11. Helmi Azman has just made it past the marker. They've picked up on his lap time, 2 minutes 9.906 right there. Teammate behind him, Khairul Idampawi, 2 minutes 10.381, and Nakarin from Honda Racing, 2:10s. All Hondas grouped up in the front pack. I'm just looking at Kito Abe right here on the screen, where the lap times are displayed. He's representing 1XOX, but I don't see a timing. Seems he's past sector 3. Yes. However, just above him is Sha Jun Tong sitting at number 13, bike number 222. And he's done a 2:14, which is about 5 seconds. He's from Victor Racing. He's done 5 seconds off of Helmi Azman, our leading man in Supersport 600 right now in the warm-ups. So what Helmi in first now. He's done a 2:09. And seems like he's going in for the kill again. Camera zooms in on him as he leans, takes the corner. Slight shake right there. Right as they follow through on the last few turns. I believe that's a 14, turn 14, come out 15. That's the last, straight in the back, right over there. We see our blazing trio in the back, and bike number 41, Nakarin, from Honda Racing in front of them. There we go, and Jerry Salim placing 6th with 2:11 from Indonesia. And there we go, camera on Muhammad Helmi Azman right now, passes the marker. Goes into turn 1, turn 2, and he's marked a 2:10. With teammate behind him, still Cairo Irampawi, 2:14. Azra Hakim, our leading man from yesterday, is in 4th in this warm-up session. Having done a 2:16 just then, must have made a mistake right there, because that is about 6 seconds off of Helmi Azman. Right, boys take a sharp turn. Go into 6, 7, 8. There we go, gunning it down. Have them all tucked in. Brake right there, dangle their legs as they lean in to the sharp turn 9. Going into 10, right turn, up the hill. 11, 12. We've got Adnanta side by side of Helmi Azman, just right there. Now Adnanta marked a 2:10.866 yesterday in race 1. Riding for the Astra Honda Racing team. If you go on their website and if you pull it up, they actually have their motto written there, Satu Hati Meraih Impian, and their 250 boys are actually dominating that class right at this moment, having done some really good times, and also hitting the 250 warm-ups just today. 5 minutes to go on the clock, 5 minutes and a half, and we've got Azra Hakim now. That's just taken first place in the warm-ups, 2:09.84. Got 7th and 10th position from Indonesia, Galang and Andi Fadli right there. From Yamaha Racing Indonesia, Andy yesterday had done a 2 minutes 12, average speed 255.9 kilometers an hour, but he sat at 10th place yesterday. However, Galang didn't finish with the fall that he had all through 10 laps, and hit an average speed of 218. Azra Hakim was the fastest yesterday as well, doing 210, and the lap record of the Supersport 600 in this class, this circuit, was done by Ibrahim Nurdin. He clocked a 2 minutes 9.955. However, I believe that Azroy Hakim has beat that lap record of Ibrahim Nurdin's, having done a 2 minutes 9.84 today. The qualifying lap record, however, in 2023, just this weekend, was achieved by Khairul Idampawi, 2 minutes 8.888. And we're looking at Indonesian riders now. Bike number 99 and bike number 108, Galang Pratama and Andi Fali. They're taking the last turn right there, turn 15, going down the straights. They cross the marker, picks up on their lap time, 2:10.985 for Galang Hendra. About 1.3 off of Azroy, our leading Malaysian. About 3 minutes left on the clock. If you've missed any of the action, you can actually catch some of the highlights on our Facebook page. The videos are all up right at this moment. And we're also broadcasting on other channels across Asia, like SPO TV Asia, Video Indonesia, a few others such as T Sports Thailand, and we're on Fox Australia as well, although on a delayed telecast. But we're playing in Astro Arena and Star Sports China, just in case you miss any of the action. And we go live on Facebook and YouTube. You can also check our official website. All of the written articles are up from the results of yesterday's race 1. Now we're looking at 3 of the boys right now. Different flags right there. Malaysia's Khairul Idampawi, making it third. Nakarin from Thailand at 4th. Bike number 41 and in 5th, Adinanta Putra. We look at them now, all 3 of them. Khairul, Adinanta Putra, and Nakarin. As they go in pretty close. Wheel to wheel. Front to rear. Last turn. And Khairul Idam speeds out of the corner. Very, very mini wheelie right there. Goes down the straights. And we're looking at Helmi Azman right just that very second earlier. Camera zooms past. And what is happening right here? We have our riders looking to the right a bit, slowing down. 45 seconds left on the clock before the warm-up session ends, and we will begin with the warm-ups for the ASB 1000. Daniel will join me then, and we'll have the likes of Marcus Ryderberger, Aslan Shah, Zakwan Zaidi, Haruki Noguchi, Kazma, Daniel, some of these familiar names from the ASB 1000 to keep a lookout for. So join me later at the pit walk, 11 a.m. in Sepang Circuit. I'll show you guys around, and we'll probably have a look at what's going on in the boxes, as well as interview some of the crews and what's going on, and have a look at what's going on. Probably we can have a chat with the audience as well, see what they think. But we expect to see some of you here today in the track. Don't forget, we still have our giveaway contest. It's actually a lucky draw, and it's happening today at 4:30 p.m. They will draw out names today on the stage in Sepang Circuit. So it's a Belida Menang contest, which is basically buy and win. You buy a happy bag, and you will get in the bag an IDEMITSU engine oil, a t-shirt, exclusive merchandise from Asia Road Racing Championship, and you stand a chance to win 2 Underbow motorcycles, a Honda RXZ and RSX, as well as a Yamaha Y15ZR. You see Sha Jun Tong there, not looking too promising for him. A rider from Victor Racing has just leaned into turn 15 now and blazing through the last corner to come through the front, passing the Sepang Arch. He's done number 12 today, but doesn't look too promising for him this weekend, as he didn't really make it yesterday either. Having done a 2:14, about 4 seconds off of Azroy Hakim. Now let's just have a quick look at the results for the warm-up. We have number 1, Azroy Hakim Anwar, 2 minutes 9, and all the Bunsio Honda Racing boys. Number 2, number 3, Helmi Azman, Cairo Irampawi. Number 4, Nakarin, also from Honda Racing Thailand. Number 5, Hadenanta Putra from Honda Racing. So it's all Honda's first top 5. Number 6, Yamaha Thailand Racing Ratapong. Number 7, Galang Hendra Pratama from Yamaha Racing Indonesia. Number 8, Jerry Salim from Astra Honda Racing Team. And there we go, the last page. Right there, we have Minamimoto from Yamaha Gen Blue. Number 9, number 10, Andi Fali from Yamaha Racing Indonesia. Number 11, Panasorn from Honda Racing Thailand. Number 12, Sha Jun Tong from China, representing Victor Racing on a Yamaha. And number 13, Malaysia's Ahmad Afif Amran from Yamaha Gen Blue. Number 14, Kito Abid from 1XOX, who did not time. So don't miss all the action later on. We begin at 12:35 with the TVS One Make Boys. But before that, we will have a pit walk at 11:10 a.m. So come on over down to Sepang. Scorching hot today. Keep yourselves hydrated, ladies and gents. And I will be guiding you through the pits today. And we will introduce you to sunny Sepang. Alright everybody, let's just go for a quick break right now, and when we resume, we will come back to the ASB 1000 boys, and Daniel will sit alongside me to commentate. Meanwhile, thank you for watching, and we'll keep you in the loop.
Welcome back to the last of the morning action. 4 warm-ups here at the FIM IDEMITSU Asia Road Racing Championship. It's the final chill session, shall we call it, before the thunder begins with race 2s in the afternoon. Join me, Daniel Bogus and Yulina, in the commentary box. And now we're witnessing all the riders come out for the 20-minute warm-up session. Quite a hefty bit of time that they have here to test a few setups. The riders will be typically some riders would opt to try a couple of setups with the time that they have, so they'll come out now with what would be perhaps setup A or setup B, go back in. If they're not satisfied, they'll try and perhaps setup C, D, etc., so on and so forth, and figure out what would be the best course to take for the race. There's one star performer of the weekend, unfortunately not so in the race, but there he is, Lachlan Epis, who was absolutely magnificent in qualifying. Qualified in 5th on the qualifying compounds. Just fell short in the race. Finished 7th with that very tough start for him. He went into turn 1, ran really wide, and immediately just got swamped by all the riders behind him. So it wasn't the race to be. But once again, he'll be starting from P5, and he will have another charge in for the race. Another notable mention from yesterday's race would be the intense battle that we had. Not really mid-pack, but just behind Marcus Reiterberger. Everyone behind Marcus Reiterberger, practically. It was between the likes of Zakwan Zaidi, Aslan Shah, Haruki Noguchi, Andy Farid. They gave us one of the best battles we have seen in a long time. And it was such a blessing to be able to witness that live. It was quite intense. We were all at the edge of our seats. We saw contact all around between Haruki, Andy, Zakwan, and Aslan Shah. And it was notable that twice at turn 9, Zakwan Zaidi bumped into the left forearm of Haruki. There we go, Haruki on screen. We know the quality of Haruki. He started from 9th position in qualifying, but that is not where the story ends for Haruki. He manages to push on forward, and he finished nevertheless in 4th. And I am very confident this time around he will have found something. As Barry said, he has a different suit for the race, and that will definitely bring hot and fiery action.
Haruki Noguchi is the man of the hour. He won the Asian Talent Cup in 2016, and he was also racing in the All Japan Road Race Championship in 2018. Although we saw his victory in the ASB 1000s for round 3 in Sugo last year. So doing pretty good this year actually, but he was caught in the tussle yesterday, as Daniel mentioned, amongst all the guys. That was happening behind Marcus Reiterberger, and I do rightly believe that Marcus didn't even realize what was happening because he was really focused yesterday. After that chat that I had with him at Park Fermi, Daniel, he mentioned to me that actually, even though he was right by the front, he wasn't really feeling comfortable with the settings of the bike. And there we go. Speak of the Daredevil. He's right there on screen now, taking that last turn. Clock goes 1:59. 2 minutes counting down. 2:02, 3, 4, 5, 6. And he's done a 2-minute 6.459. Now, that's his best lap today at first position in the warm-up sessions. And he's just mentioned yesterday as well, going back to that he didn't really feel comfortable with the settings, but of course he's going to try his best. He also pointed out that he's 29 years old now, so he's really not sure what he's going to do, but he still loves racing. Of course, we're all here for the love of racing, and we're here in the regional championship, everybody, watching these guys from all over Asia, including our German friend, go head-to-head, wheel-to-wheel with each other.
Yeah, well, you're mentioning about Haruki. Haruki's been racing in All Japan all throughout his career. He's raced in All Japan last year and in this year as well. Haruki last year, unfortunately, he was a title contender. He had his first win in Sepang in race 2. A very strong podium as well here in race 1 into 2022 season. He was looking like he would be able to contest Zakwan Zaidi, but he missed out just unfortunately due to the accident that he had in the All Japan Championship. Nevertheless, he is back. Marcus Reiterberger as well, well-experienced rider from the Endurance World Championship just recently as well, a few weeks back. He's a rider who has experiences in the World Superbike Championship, IDM as well, if I'm not mistaken. and he is just quite the talent. But yeah, definitely Marcus, he was in a league of his own, nearly 8 seconds ahead of the rest. But yeah, he was just cruising in his victory. He knew that he had the pace to pull up ahead. Speaking of pace, Azlan Shah Zaman started from way back, and he managed to fight all the way to the front.
Yeah, he was at ninth yesterday. Actually, he was at ninth. I remember having this little chat with him when we were doing the grid walk, and I asked him, "How do you feel today?" "I feel good," he tells me. And then, of course, he also mentioned to me that this is all just a gamble for him. His own words, quote unquote. And he says they're really trying out new settings for him. Says if he feels comfortable and if all goes well, he will do his best. So, and he's proved, that he's rolled the dice in the right direction, coming in second yesterday, just behind his teammate Marcus, and having that little tussle that they had with Zakwan Zaidi. I remember when I was at Park Ferme as well, these boys were having a little chat, and even Zakwan said to him, I give it all to you, my hat's off to you, Abang, big brother, basically.
Yeah, Azlan Shah definitely showing what he's made of once again. He also had a horrid qualifying in Buriram with bike issues, and he once again tussled up for a podium victory. But the podium finish. Victory went to Marcus Reitzenberger. But it really is a telling weekend of the gap in machinery, because if we look at the straight line speed of the BMW, it is second to none. Previously, we saw that the Hondas were the king of the top speeds, clocking in well over 300 kilometers per hour. But this time round, we have seen the BMW M1000RR come in with new equipment, the new fairing that you can see, those winglets, massive winglets. I'll tell you in person, looking at those things, it's quite intimidating. But nevertheless, this man over here has never taken those words into any account. He doesn't care that they have the better top speed, because he is just pushing and pushing on. But then again, I will say, one credit I do want to give to the SDG MS Hard Pro Honda team. They have put in so much good work to ensure that Haruki's bike is functioning properly. Top speed, they're not lacking too much. They're lacking within 5 to 10 kilometers per hour. But it's Haruki's aggressive riding style. The bike doesn't move anywhere, but his body moves all around the bike, and it's something that just works so well with the Honda.
Yeah, Haruki put up a really good fight yesterday, I believe, with the Malaysian boys up in the front, because he was just going really hard with Zakwan and Azlan and left and right, and synchronizing and dicing with all of them. A step forward to my dreams, Haruki says, about the Asia Road Racing Championship. He dubs Marc Marquez as his hero. And I believe that is where the aggression comes from as well. He started racing when he was very young, actually. His dad had provided him with all the resources that he need. And he's come up to now, and he thanks his family for being able to land everything and all of the results and achievements that he's had now. And he's actually marked Zakwan and Kazma as his main rivals.
Yeah, I mean, Haruki's, we've known what a talent he's been since last season. We've seen how much of a rider he is, and we know that he's going to bring special things coming into the season. He already has with the performances in Buriram. It's just a tough round for him, but we know Haruki is a champion to be. We know that it will come, we just don't know when. But for now, we look at Kasuma Daniel, another strong rider who's just been struggling. He had a race victory last season here in Sepang in race 1, and he just got lost out to Haruki last year in race 2, which gave Haruki his maiden win. But for now, Kasuma has been struggling this weekend. He tried to follow the group behind Marcus, but he was slowing down. He wasn't slowing down. He was just unable to keep up with the pace of the front there. We saw specks of brilliance for him in the early laps, but ultimately he was just about 3 seconds behind the group in front of him. But definitely another opportunity for Kasuma, but definitely big question marks over Yamaha Gem Blue, because it's a second round that they are struggling in comparison to last year. Last year they looked strong. He came in with Kasuma and he was such a stellar performer, but this time around they just need to find a little something. But let's focus back onto Marcus, because he's about to set a very good lap. It's going to be a 205. Oh, it isn't. It's a 206.0. So Marcus setting more or less what looks like race pace, a 206.0 consistently, 2 laps in a row. And that just shows why Marcus is at the front. No one else is even close enough to lap in the 206.0s. Kasma being the closest in race pace, 206.5. However, he could not replicate that in yesterday's race.
Well, we talked about Yamaha Gen Blue Racing Team earlier and some of the not so great results they displayed. I'm looking at Kevin Kubo right now, placing 12 on the lap time sheets that we're looking at, the live timings now, also from Yamaha Gen Blue, and there are no timings. It seems that he didn't start, so...
Yeah, he's not out on track right now.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say, so... we're still looking at the circuit and the boys on the circuit. Muhammad Zakwan Zaidi, bike number 1 right there. In the quick chat that we had over the weekend, he's always pointed out that Marcus is his biggest rival, but he ended up 3rd yesterday after that very difficult tussle that he had. Intense battle, and also a very interesting one for our viewers with Aslan and the rest of the boys right behind Marcus.
Yeah, for Zakwan is he has some definitely has some things to find with the team. We saw that in Buram as well. It wasn't smooth sailing for the defending champion. But now let's look at Jakrit Swangsat, who had a decent performance, I would say. Even though he finished in 11th, we must take note of the fact that his lap times have been improving. The East NJT racing team have been providing the best for him. And you can see that in the team efforts. But right now, it just hasn't come together for the Thai rider. Speaking of Thai riders, we must also mention Pasawit. Pasawit just struggled this time around. He had a few errors in the early laps, and that pushed him all the way down into 10th behind Kenneth Kubo. But another rider that we really need to mention, we haven't seen on screen yet, is Andy Farid. The rookie in this class, not a rookie in his quality, but the rookie in this class. Andy Farid was in 2nd for a lot of that first half of the race. While everyone was tussling about, he just took advantage and he was showing great improvements.
We were just looking at Jakrit Swangswat, right, from East NJT. Might I mention that yesterday, one of the riders of East NJT had a really hard fall, I believe in the outlap, in the 250s, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
and I just realized yesterday, after having this very quick discussion with some people in the studio, that it was Li Ruijun, one of their riders from China, and she's female. Now, she had a really hard fall there, but she came up just fine and everything is all right. And I think she just knocked her elbow really hard. She was out for a bit, but she's recovered now and all is good. But a really good team nonetheless. If you pull up their website, you'll be able to see all of the achievements from their riders. They have 4 riders for this year competing in Asia's Road Racing Championship, East NJT, ladies and gents.
Yeah, the rider that crashed in the qualifying, she was Warit Tonapakun. Lee Rayun's crash was on Friday, and that's why it was a surprise for me and Barry that she managed to come back, because we saw on Friday that she had bruises all over her body. And Warit Tonapakun, great effort for him in qualifying, but unfortunately with that crash, he was unable to start in yesterday's race. So we hope that Warit will be back on. But for now, let's focus on the ASB 1000s. We have Lachlan Nepis on screen, and what a performer Lachlan has been, the young Australian, in front of an Australian legend, Anthony Keith West. Now, Lachlan, he qualified 5th, but as we mentioned, he had that very unfortunate overshoot at the start of the race into turn 1, and which lost him so many positions. If I'm not mistaken, he rejoined somewhere around in 11th. And he managed to make up a few positions, backing up into 7th, collecting 9 points. So, great show from the young Australian. There we go, Anthony Keith West in front of him. He'll be having great joys to be on the track with such a legendary rider from his country, and he'll definitely be looking to make amends for yesterday's start. I think if Lachlan can take that right line into turn 1, he will be well within the mix of Zakwan, Haruki Andy, and Kasma. Here we follow him now into turn 1. This is where he made that error in the first lap of the race, and what a beautiful livery it is that he has on that M1000RR. Lachlan, of course, he's no stranger to the ARC Championship. I remember chatting with him, and he has competed a few years back, but he's back now once again in the Premier class.
I was just having a chat with Lachlan yesterday in the media center, and He's actually mentioned as well that Evolution Sports Group is a company of his father's, and he's been racing under this company for quite a good time now. His father's been supporting his racing all these years. He's just 24, getting married next month. Our young Australian.
Definitely focus on the Thai rider Pasawit Titivarak. We expect big things from Pasawit. We know he's such a quality rider. Finishing 10th yesterday is not at all where we expected him to be. Now pulling up the practice times. In practice, Pasawit was third fastest in the overall practice times at 207.3. So we know Pasawit has the pace to be well up in the fight, but it just didn't come together last time round for Pasawit in the race. A 207.2 is his best time. Just couldn't find the pace to keep up with those in front. I saw Haruki going back in there. I don't think he's going to make it out for another lap. Notable mention for Teo Yu Jo, the rider who comes from Malaysia. He's here to gain experience and improve himself as a rider. That's his fastest lap time so far in Sepang, at 2:14.447. So good improvements for him. He's under the watchful eye of ex-Moto3 rider Afiq Azmi. And speaking of talented riders, here's Zakwan Zaidi making his way around into turn 9. So for Zakwan now going up into turn 10. Zakwan, decent lap times in this warm-up session. A 207.4 was his fastest race lap. 206.8 now. So Zakwan's finding something better. He's under a second away from Marcus. So are the rest in the top 4. Now, see, here's the thing about Kasma. Kasma struggled all throughout the practice sessions. He wasn't 6th fastest. And yeah, in qualifying, he wasn't too bad off, but in the race, it just really couldn't come together for Kasma. He just couldn't find his footing right. Now there's the pair of the Honda Asia Dream racing team, Zakwan Zaidi and Andy Farid. Andy, my word. I give my greatest respect to Andy for coming into this category, fighting with riders who are experienced in this class, and being able to be up there with them from round 1. What a top job it is from the Indonesian rider. And I feel Zakwan riding on the mediums, I believe that is. Definitely medium rear, yeah, medium front as well. So that seems to be the favored option of the Hondas. But however, in yesterday's race 1, Zakwan Zaidi did run the hard front and the medium rear. Very interesting change, because I don't think I've seen Zakwan race with that setup yet. Oh, it is the hard front on Zakwan's bike, apologies. So hard front, medium rear. So quite different, especially in comparison to his teammate as well, who is running the mediums. Now, just looking at the timing sheets on track, Marcus Reitzenberger has just gone fastest through Sector 3, so Marcus might be dipping into the 205s on compounds, which are not the qualifying compounds. Now here's Zakwan Zaidi. A bit of a bump there nowadays at turn 7 at Sepang International Circuit after the resurfacing. We saw Azlan Shah nearly caught out there. And yeah, as I mentioned earlier, Marcus Reiterberger has just gone up even faster, 205.891. What a great lap that is from Marcus. That's faster than his race lap yesterday. But then again, we must take note of the fact that the track temperature is much cooler. It's probably around 35 to 40 degrees Celsius at this time, 10:44 a.m. Apologies. And yesterday was well over 50 degrees. So different conditions. These cooler track temperatures do favor the faster lap times. For now, we're focusing on Haruki Noguchi. He's coming through so far. 206.978 is the best he could do. I suspect he's trying a new setup that the team has given him after he came into the pit stop momentarily. So let's follow Haruki on this lap, looking for the Sector 2 time. So far, Sector 1, he's not too bad at all. He's similar to the riders in front of him. Sector 2, not too bad. But now we follow Haruki around turn 8. With this very, very nice riding style. Smooth is the bike. Aggressive is his body. Into turn 9. Now this is a very interesting turn if you look at race 1 yesterday. The amount of incidents, shall we call it, that occurred at turn 9 was absolutely nail-biting stuff. Wide there was Haruki as he ran around turn 11. For now, there's the back shot of Marcus Ratzenberger. Haruki not too far behind him, so maybe Haruki was initially thinking that he could try and latch himself behind Marcus to see what they might be lacking, if anything, from the BMW rider. So here comes Haruki now, down the back straight, number 73 with that very iconic helmet on his. And into turn 15 goes Haruki. So looking at the sector times, it doesn't look like a great lap from Haruki. I don't think he will be pushing himself up any positions in this warm-up session. Yeah, it's a 207.7 for Haruki. There's Lachlan Epis. He's also coming around now. Looking as well, not likely to improve positions. Anthony West just latching himself behind him. Anthony West actually looking at his lap time. That is a faster lap time once again. A 207.8474 Anthony Keith West. I think this is the final rider to come past the checkered flag. Pasawit Titi Vararak. He's coming around now through turn 15. The Thai rider will take the checkered flag, and that will conclude the ASB 1000 warm-up session. 20 minutes of warm-up for these riders. And there goes the premier class of this FIM IDEMITSU Asia Road Racing Championship. We will have the results up on your screen for the warm-up shortly. But my oh my, this sets up a very, very exciting and interesting race 2. Alright, so these are the results for the ARC ASB 1000 warm-up session. Surprise, surprise! Not really, but Marcus Reitzenberger fastest in the session. Kasuma Daniel doing a good job there in second. Zakwan Zadi in third. Haruki Noguchi fourth. Aslan Shah Kamarzaman in fifth. Lachlan Epis in sixth. Adi Farid Izdihar seventh. Anthony Keith West in eighth. Coming up in ninth is Pasawit Titi Vararak. 10th, Jakrit Swangsat. 11th is Choyu Jo. And in 12th, with no time set in the warm-up, is Kenneth Kubo. So that's it for the morning session of the final race day in round 2. We will come back in about 10 minutes for the pit walk with you, Lina, and after that we will have all the race 2s up on your screen from 12:35 all the way until 3:50 p.m. Stay tuned. We'll see you guys in a short few minutes.